Assalamualaikum and welcome back to Scientia Magazine's Women in STEM series. Today we're sitting down with a real-life disease detective. Imagine standing at the front lines of global health, safeguarding major seaports and breaking barriers in a field that is very demanding and heavily male-dominated. Our guest today is doing exactly that. Dr. Nadia Jamil is a medical doctor and public health specialist in epidemiology. Epidemiologists study how diseases spread, who they affect, and identify patterns that help inform public health policies and prevent future outbreaks. She currently works as the focal person in the International Health Regulations, a department of the National Ministry of Health in Pakistan. So essentially making sure that strict measures are in place to prevent any cross-border spreading of diseases. So you can probably guess that she plays a really important role, especially with the world recovering from COVID-19. Dr. Nadia, so happy to have you here and really excited to learn about your story and what you do.
Thank you so much, Abeer, for such a great and yeah, it's just like a compliment for the remarks and for the introduction you has given. I'm very grateful that you have invited me, and I'm looking forward that I can share my story, I can share my challenges, my accomplishment with all my female co-workers and all the females uh, to whom I can be inspiration to move forward. Thank you.
With a lot of my guests, I start to ask about their background, and I know you've pursued medical, like MBBS. So let's take us to your childhood a little bit. Like, what developed your curiosity in maybe diseases or, the medical side of things?
So I think since I was born, I have always heard that I have to be a doctor. My mother, I'm the only daughter of my parents. I have
Mm-hmm.
two brothers. So from the childhood, I always heard, and it was my father's wish because he couldn't make it to medical college. And I'm very proud in this that because of the financial challenges, he couldn't afford. So
Mm.
he opted for some other studies, but he always had the wish that his daughter should be a doctor. So when I was born and when I was in school, like I started school, I always heard that I have to be a doctor. And there was no force. It wasn't a forced decision, but it became my inspiration too. I never thought anything else. And since the beginning, I was a studious kid. I have heard my mother rushing behind my brothers to go get their homework done.
Mm.
They have to study for the exam, but I was a kind of a child that was so anxious that I still remember that if I haven't completed my homework, I couldn't sleep. I was so afraid. So
Wow.
I used to do my things on my own. I studied
Yeah.
on my own, and people still don't believe me that throughout till the second year, yeah, that is my FSC pre-medical, I never have gone to the academy or to the tuitions.
Wow.
uh, yeah, my father used to teach me, or my elder brother sometimes, and one of my cousin, he was a PhD in physics. So I used to take guidance from them,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but I never formally went to any academy. So this was my, you can say, the journey towards the medical college. For my pre-meds and all that, I always studied on my own, and
Oh, yeah.
when my result was out and I applied, and Alhamdulillah, I got the admission on the merit.
Yeah, I also have one question regarding that because a lot of kids get pushed towards medical, especially in Pakistan, especially females. So what made you, instead of disliking it because of, the encouragement towards pursuing medical, what made you like it instead? Was it your dad teaching you?
Yeah. My dad was my passion. My dad was my inspiration. He was everything for me.
Mm.
And when I was studying pre-medical, the one thing I missed when I got into the medical, or right when I got the admission to the pre-medical and in the first year, that was the maths
Mm.
subject. I was very keen in mathematics, and I used to secure 100 out of 100 marks always. And this was my record in even in board exam into my 10th
Wow.
matriculation. Yeah. So
A
when I have
hundred
to,
marks.
yeah, when I
That's
have to
crazy.
join pre-med, then you can't take, either you go to the pre-engineering, either you go to pre-med, or you go to the journal section. Then you can opt for maths, and if you go for the general section, or if you go for the pre-engineering. For the pre-medical, you have to leave maths. We go with the physics, bio and the chemistry. So that was the only regret of regarding leaving maths
Yeah.
but that I was regretting, and I was sad that I won't be studying maths anymore. So once I said to my father that is this possible? I can change to the general section and I or go to pre-engineering because I want to study that day. My father got angry, but he couldn't show his anger to me because I told you that he was very loving with me. He never scolded me. He asked my mother that her statement has made me very sad. So that was the
Oh.
first and the last day I said like this, and I never repeated again. I continued with my pre-med. I had no issues with studying, and I still remember when, unfortunately, my father couldn't see me becoming
Mm.
a doctor because after my admission in medical college, after a few months, he died.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, when I was going to pre-med, I was going to the medical college. The when my admission was done, and there are many formalities to be done.
Yeah.
There there's the protocols you have to follow, many papers that need to be attested, documents and all that. So I was a lucky person that I never have to rush to any office or any place. My father got all those things done for me, and I still
Mm.
remember on the last day when everything was completed, he came back home with a box of sweets, and he hugged
Oh.
me, and he had tears in his eyes, and he said, I'm very proud of you.
Mm.
And when I went to medical college, before that, I still remember in metric, and that sometimes I wanted to see movies and all that while my exams were near. Once my father said that if you make use of these 2 years, everything is for you, and every avenue will be yours.
Mm.
I was never intending to see some movie. I was passing by from the TV lounge, and just I stood there. I think I had my paper next day. I feel very embarrassed that I thought my father thinks that I'm a very non-serious kind of a person. And I told him that I never came here to see the movie. I was just passing by, so I just stopped for the.
A little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
about that period. So when you were transitioning from FSE and pre-med to suddenly an MBBS, was it like a straightforward thing? Because I know that students have to like really study for this
No, it
exam to
wasn't a
qualify.
straightforward thing. Nana, it was very challenging because I got
Yeah.
admission in a far-flung medical college at the first.
Mm-hmm.
I reside in Islamabad, and my first admission was in Bahawalpur. That is Qaida a
Oh.
medical college. That was because of wrong filling of the form in the merit list. So when I have to go, all the formalities are done. But my mother, I still remember when it was December, and I had to proceed in January, and my mother used to cry all time because I was leaving the home, and it was the first time
Mm.
I was going somewhere. So I had to prepare in many things as I was going out of home. I have to prepare for my clothes, new shoes, and things like to
Yeah.
carry on as I was moving towards a new life and a hostel life. So she was crying all the time. We used to go for shopping, and meanwhile use I had to complete the other formalities like having the medical and all that. My mother used to cry all the time, so that was a very challenging thing. It wasn't,
Yeah.
but I went from home with hopes. I never felt bad, and it was very challenging. I still remember that it was Ramzan when I joined the medical college. So for
Mm.
joining the mess, you have to meet the mess managers, and I still remember we couldn't make to meet that. I was with one of my friend, my uncle's daughter. She also got the admission in the same medical college. So my father and her father, we went together to Bahawalpur to drop us. My father and her father were there for 2 days. So for 2 days, they pampered us. They used to take us out
Yeah.
some hotel to get the food and all like that. But after 2 days, when they left, we couldn't still manage to get hold of those ladies or the our
Mm.
seniors who were the mess managers. So can you imagine that after that 2 days we were hungry without food
Oh.
for the next 24 hours. So we couldn't meet those girls. We had the money, but it was a hostel, we were not allowed to go at odd timings. So we were not able to manage that how we should get something to eat. In the end, I still remember one night we looked that what we have with us. So the 2 days old, we had that roti, that naan,
Mhm.
that was leftover of some meal we had in the hotel. So I still remember that was the best thing I have ate in ever in my life, because
Yeah.
the way we were hungry, we ate that roti, that naan, that 2 day old naan with water. And so I still always say this to my brother, to my younger brother, that there are many lessons you learn in life.
Hmm.
I will say that I used to be a very pampered, and you can say a kind of a stubborn child. But I learned many lessons while living in hostel. You have to eat the food full of stones.
Mm.
After Bahawalpur, I moved to Fatma Jinnah Medical College, and over there we used to have dal with roti, and that dal used to be full of stones.
Oh
So
no.
after 5 years of medical college and especially the hostel life, coming back to home, for me, home was a heaven. It was a
Yeah.
heaven, and everything that was cooked in home. I used to think that I started eating everything. Otherwise, I used to say I don't want to eat this. After that hostel life,
Yeah.
that taught me so many lessons.
Understandable. So, how was your degree as such? Like, how did you cope with the medical MBBS, and
Yeah,
how were the teachers over there? Because I know that
yeah.
Islamabad to Bhavalpur must have been a big jump.
Yeah. So I just stayed in Bahawalpur for 2, 3 months, and I got upgraded, and went to Fatma Jinnah Medical College, Lahore. So Lahore was it was
Oh, so you
my
stayed in
it was
Lahore. Okay.
yeah, I stayed in Lahore for 5 years. So
Wow.
it was quite, as it was not home, it was hostel, but still it was manageable. So at times I used to feel homesick. I used to rush on Saturday afternoon after my class to home, and I used to stay overnight at home, and Sunday afternoon. Then again, my father used to drop me till he was alive. On the first year of medical college, he was alive, and then he exactly died on the day I got admission. Exactly 1 year after my admission in medical college, he died all of a sudden of a heart attack,
Oh.
and he could make it.
Mm-mm-mm.
So after that, my brother used to manage that. He used to pick me from the stop. Then I used to acquainted because I have many class fellows, and we were many of us were from Islamabad, so we used to travel together. Regarding
Mm-hmm.
the degree stress, I will say that the study of medical is always stressful, and I think that stress, there are different parts of stress. At that time, we used to think that this is the stress, this is the most stressful part of a life. But I still remember many of our seniors and the people who have graduated. They used to say the college life is the golden period of life, and I would
Mm.
say that they were quite right. At that time, we only had the stress of study. So the first prof was quite stressful because the Fatma, was a kind of a college. You can say it wasn't a university. It was,
Mm-hmm.
as I used to think, and the environment over there, the stresses, as it was an all girls platform. It was just like the college that you are doing FSC. So after my MBBS, first I thought that I'm going to, and Alhamdulillah, regarding my studies, I used to have very good grades, or rather, you can say distinctions in every
Oh,
uh,
wow.
year. And because when my father passed away, I got very touched. I even got so much close to my religion. I used to offer 5 times with the prayers. I used to pray 5 times. I used to read Quran, and because I wanted that I should be a sadqa jariyah for him. And I always used to say that I have to study hard. I don't have to do anything that makes my father angry, or
Mm.
he don't regret on me. And I always used to say it to my roommate that my father is looking at me, and he is always guarding me from the heavens.
Yeah.
So this used to be my line while talking to my friends.
Because
So
you're essentially carrying his dream and your dream together.
yes, yes. So it was not like that. Many of the people when they get in the medical college, they say that we need to study for the sake that we get just pass marks. I used to even study over there to get good marks, and I always had the first division, and I always secured A+, and I have distinction in few of the subjects. So I always got good marks in medical college. So after my graduation, uh, I had the opinion that I will be doing my house job from Lahore. So I even applied there and started. Somehow, at some point in time, within a week, I got so much homesick because house job was, I would say, was more tough than the studying. I had no time for rest and all that. And one of my class fellow who was with me, so we both decided, no, we are not staying here. So I just called up my mother that, I'm coming back to Islamabad. So she welcomed my decision. And when I came here, I applied for a house job in Islamabad. It was quite delayed. Like over there, I had a delay of 1 or 2 months, but I started it, and I did it from home. So it was a different experience. I was pampered. I only have to do my job. My food used to come from my home during my house, or my brother used to come. And I still remember a few of my seniors used to say, okay, you guys doing a house job? Are you going doing some kind of enjoyment? Your
Yeah.
tiffins are coming from home. Your iron clothes are coming from home. You guys are doing so much fashion. I see you wearing daily new clothes. What's going on? Is this a house job? So, but our head of the department, she used to like us. She was fond of vibrant girls. So I
Hmm.
still remember her said, no, let them be like this. And we used to do call 24 after 24 hours calls. We used to go to the duty room and had bath and change and have lipstick. And then we used to go to the OPDs.
Yeah.
So few of the seniors, they were very tired of us. What is this? Why they are always so much fresh in the morning, still after 24 hours call. But
So
our head was,
I had a question regarding that. So for people who don't know what house jobs are or OPDs are or like 24-hour calls are, could you like go into that a little bit more?
yeah. I did my house job in in surgery and in gynae.
You essentially shadow someone and they train you.
Yeah. The house job is like this, that there is a structure you need to follow. We have the head of the department, then we have the associate registrars, and then there are the senior trainees, and the one who are doing their 4 years FCPS training. Then we are the house jobians. So the house job is for 1 year, and it depends upon you that if you want to break it into six months, you can do straight away in one. So I did it in two parts: 6 months in gynae and 6 months in surgery. So
Mm.
the seniors I'm talking about, they were the senior FCPS fellows.
Okay.
But the head of the department and the associate and the registrar, they were quite cooperative, and this was the most positive thing I had in that department, that they used to praise us, that these girls are so efficient in the work, but still they don't stay in a awkward manner, and they are dressed very nicely, and they wear lipsticks, and they come to the OPD. So we were kind of the helpers, but as I told you that we were very enthusiastic. So I remember at the end of the house, we used to make our seniors sleep, and we used to manage the wards on ourselves.
There moments where you like doubted your skills or like had like a tough moment.
Yeah, it was a very, you can say it was a journey full of learning.
Hmm.
You have to learn skill because it's all practical experience. So when I started my house job, I had one of the trainee who I used to be with her all the time. So after 1 week, the lady who was next to our head of the department, her name was Dr. Nusrat, she asked about me that this girl is here since 1 week. Has
Yeah.
she learned anything? My that senior, she told that she has learned the normal delivery. She have done
Mm.
this. She has done this. She has done this. Oh, said, oh my God, she has learned so much things and she hasn't given any treat yet. So there was a custom over there that if you conduct a delivery on your own, or if you do
Mm-hmm.
anything on your own, you have to give treat to all of the unit.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so then I ordered pizza. Then and when I still remember that when I did my forceps delivery, I got noodles made at the home, a kind of a pasta in a very big pot, and I
Yeah.
brought it for whole of the unit. So this we used to learn things every day, and at the
Mm.
end of the 6 months, I was even doing the cesareans, and because this was
Oh
our
wow.
fixed protocol that in first month you have to learn this, you have to learn this, like this was a good thing. I will say that I learned many things during my house job, and they helped me in my practical life. The same
Mm.
was in the surgery, and I never worked in the medicine department during my house job, because I have the option to work in two departments. And so my house job was quite eventful. And when I finished with my house job, my head of the department, she offered me, not me, we were three class fellows, we were doing the house job together. She said that I can continue your house job with your the training for MCPS, and I will get you registered without any gap if you agree to continue with this. But I
Mm-hmm.
said that no, I don't want to do the training. I want some break, and I will continue training after a while, not immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So I still remember that when three of us, out of three of us, two of us left when the house job was completed, and one of my class fellows, she continued with the training. There was a quite a gap in the department. The people said that those girls were very they got very expert, and the new lot that came was not that willing workers. So the
Mm.
department faced quite challenges that
Yeah.
the way we used to work. We used
Mm-hmm.
to work day and night, and it was a good experience. And the other thing was that I told we were three class fellows, we were together. So that even made
Mm.
a difference that we knew each other. So we used to compliment each other. We used to help each other. We used to like some at sometimes as I couldn't manage to get some food. They used to
Mm.
bring the cooked food from home. We used to have shared meals. So
Yeah.
that was a good thing because among so as I told you, we used to have 24-hour calls. Sometimes we used to have on the long weekends a 30-hour calls. So
Oh
that was
my
quite challenging.
gosh. Yeah.
So long working hours without any sleep.
Yeah.
That was different. And one of the things that happened during my house job was the death of my Bade Abbu, my Taya Abbu.
Mm-hmm.
And after my father, he was a fatherly figure for me. He used to take care of me.
Mm.
And he was quite old, but still the consoling words and the word, you don't have to worry. Your father is not there, but I'm here for you,
Mm.
were too
Yeah.
much for me. So during my house job, it was just 6 months when I started my house job. It was winters. He died all of a sudden. He was found dead in his room.
Oh
So,
gosh.
so that was quite disturbing for me. It was Saturday night. Then my seniors allowed me to go,
Mm-hmm.
and when I tried to come back on the call, they said no, you stay. So
Mm.
it was also one of the things that my seniors were very compassionate. It
Yeah.
happens very rarely during the house job because it's a quite challenging job. The seniors don't because if you listen from anyone, they say the house job is so tiring. The people
Mm.
get sick. That oh my God, that's so. But it's not the I would say that the tiring job. It's the environment that make you
Yeah.
comfortable. Yeah. So the environment was very compatible. The environment was very positive. It was comfortable. So even the
Mm-hmm.
30-hour calls never mattered for us, and we had a very good time in that 1 year.
Yeah. And you went through two deaths during this period, which is like extremely hard. Like even one can shake you up to the core. So how did you get through it? I know that you prioritize leading the way because of your dad's dream too, but is there something you would say for people who are going through a similar situation, who don't know what to do next?
Um, I would say that yeah, I would say that I have been through tough time, right starting from my father's death to my Bade Abu death. I had many other I won't say there was many challenges I have been through and still sometimes I face. But
Mm,
one thing I always consider and I think that keep me moving, that keep me motivating. One is that my father's wish, and that second thing that I'm the only one who has to take care of my mother. I have to set an example for her. I don't have to be a troublemaker for her. So this
mm,
is a thing I always stay positive and I always stay strong as my mother has faced many challenges.
yeah.
Right starting from my father's death, she was shaken, you can say. I was just a student at that time, but I still remember. I don't know how come I got the courage. The way I saw her crying badly, and she said, "How
Mm,
I'm going to manage with kids and all that." I stood up and I hugged her and I said, "Ammi, I'm going to take care of you." And
yeah.
I just remember it seemed that like my father used to whisper in my ears that now you have to take care of your mother and the family.
Mm,
So I tried my best and I have proven that the daughters can also be the one who
yeah.
can take care of the family. And I've tried hard,
Hmm.
and Alhamdulillah, she's living with me, and I'm trying my best to take care of
Yeah.
her.
And you took ownership because in that circumstance, it's easy for like other family members or your brothers to step in, but you decided that I will also step in at this point.
Yeah, I sacrificed many things. I haven't got married.
Hmm.
And I think that because my mother has given much time and she has given her whole life to me.
Yeah.
I I studied because it was quite challenging to afford and to pay for my fees and for my books and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I still remember how hard my mother used to struggle to
Hmm.
make the both ends meet, because I still remember at that time when I was studying in medical college,
Hmm.
my study, my fee was her priority. I
Yeah.
remember she used to travel to the far-flung areas to buy cheaper grocery.
Wow.
So
Hmm.
still she's the kind of a lady. She is very you can say she's not demanding at all. Even at the time of my father, she never demanded for clothes and like that whatever. But my father used to keep her very pampered. This is the kind of attitude my mother used to have. So how can I forget that how what she has done for me?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, after my graduation, when I started applying for a job, I still remember she used to accompany me to the Federal Public Service Commission office, that I have to go and buy a form. I have to submit a form. So sometimes you used to go by taxi, somebody used to go by foot,
Hmm.
sometimes by buses. I can never forget. Yeah,
And
I started applying at first
from,
at contractual service.
yeah.
Uh, for you can say 1.5 year. During that, I started applying
Hmm.
for the permanent service, and
Hmm.
in Pakistan we call that Federal Public Service Commission. That is the
Okay.
way the doctors, they the one who has MBBS, they get inducted in permanent service at the federal level. So I started applying for that, and Alhamdulillah, I cleared the exam. On the post which I am working on, I topped in that exam, and I inducted on the merit seat. I'm not any quota seat. I'm on a
Mm.
merit seat, and since that's how it
Yeah.
started. Yeah.
So what was
The
that job like? What did you have to
I was a
do?
medical officer, the starting of grade
Yeah.
17, the medical officer job,
Hmm.
that you have to work in a hospital, in a dispensary setup, in a health facility
Hmm.
setup. You can say it was a kind of a GP practice. Yeah, it's
Okay.
called a medical officer. You have to see the OPD patients or any other job assigned to you. They can even move you to the emergency to work at CMO. It
Hmm.
depends where you are posted. I always wanted to do some kind of post graduation,
Mm.
but in 2006, my mother, she got ill. As she was
Mm.
taking care of the home and everything, she started to have joint pains, and that was quite a serious one. And we have to take her to the doctors, and because her mobility was getting reduced with passage of the time. So that was the time I thought that if I do the FCPS and I
Mm.
start with the 4 year training, I won't be able to cope, because I won't be having that support system that used to be during my house job times, like
Mm.
sending the cooked meals and the food. So I thought I will be making a trouble for her. I
Mm.
won't be doing justice with my job, and I won't be doing the justice with my home and the care my mother demands. So at that time, I took a decision that I need to change my line from clinicals. I decided to move towards masters in public health, towards the public health side. And how I would say that finalized this decision, I was working in OPD. One of my colleague, he told that I have brought the brochure for admission in masters in public health, but somehow I couldn't apply, and I'm not applying. So if you want to apply, you can take my brochure and you can take my form. So that was the turning point. I took his form and I applied, and I got the admission. And since there it started, it never stopped. So I did first my master's,
Mm.
and somehow incidentally I met one of my old class fellow over there. So we had a very good time. She was already working in UNICEF and in public health and community medicine. So we shared experience. Then I started having more interest. Then I completed with the masters. After masters, during
Mm.
job, I think after 2 years in masters, I got the opportunity for an on-job training. That
Okay.
was, yeah,
So you're
that,
going from a house job to now working in a hospital and then eventually moving to a public health
yeah, it was a
master's
kind of
and
a
then
transition. It was a kind of a transition, that
yeah.
house job. Then I worked in a hospital, then in the health facility. And during that, I got
Mhm.
admission. When I completed my master's, I was still working in that health facility. I still remember the in charge of that health facility wasn't positive.
Mm,
I still remember the words he used to say, that the females or the doctors that are working in small health facilities, they don't need to study. They don't need to be so motivated. Why you
mm,
are always keen in doing some trainings and studying? So he
mm,
said, why can't you sit and just work? But I
mm,
never followed his remarks or his opinion. I continued to strive, and
mm,
I came to know about a non-job training that was the field epidemiology and
mm,
lab training program that Pakistan was running with the help of CTC Definite. And I got inducted. First, I did the screening. The screening program was for 3 weeks. And that was by the nomination. So I submitted an application. I requested my head of the department, and he was reluctant to send me. Then I met one of the higher officer in the ministry. He said, okay, you can join, but we can't guarantee that you will join for because after the screening, if you get selected through the screening, you are then selected for a 2 years postgraduate advanced program. That's kind of a hybrid program that is called
mhm,
as on-job training. So that officer said, if you perform well, we will send you. So I did the same, that I studied well, and I tried to take part in the
mhm.
practical part of those 3 weeks, and I secured 87% marks in the screening
Okay.
exam.
Yeah.
So there was an interview at the end. When I went for the interview, the resident over there, who was the head of that program, he asked me that you have secured very good marks. So have you studied or you have interest? So I said, sir, both things, that I even studied for the exam,
Mm-hmm.
and I also have interest in public health and all these things. And one more thing to tell, that what
Yeah.
helped me over here, because it was epidemiology, and epidemiology, along with epidemiology, we had biostats. So in biostats, it's all maths. So when you used to have exam,
Oh,
or
yeah.
the class group work, I was the one who used to complete the maths portion in the first. And one of
Mm-hmm.
my fellow used to say, Nadia, you are very good at biostats. You
Yeah.
finish the question in seconds. So this was also the plus point. I did well in the exams.
Yeah.
So
So you
when
got to do something that you couldn't do initially, but now it's
Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
benefiting
It
you.
was a kind of you can say it was a revision of the maths we
Yeah.
used to have till metric, and
Mm-hmm.
it was all maths, and biostats is a kind of advanced maths. So when I cleared the screening, my in charge said that you were only allowed to go for that screening. We already told you that
Mm-hmm.
we can't send you for 2 years. I told him that it's not
Oh.
2 years straight away, 2 years. It will be like this. In 2 years, I have to go there for 3 weeks twice a year, and rest things will be in a hybrid mode. I will be completing the chores
Mm-hmm.
that given the task that will be. He said no. I we have already said no. So I
Mm-hmm.
again reverted to one of the senior officer, who promised that if you will perform well, we will
Uh-huh.
send you. So I went. I sent, sir. I took my mark sheet. That,
Yeah.
sir, I have performed well, and I have secured 97% marks, and now I have got the offer letter. He said, okay, okay. So we are sending you. So this is how
Yeah.
I started after my MPH. two
Mm-hmm.
years of my master's degree, I got into
Uh,
the epidemiology program. So it
can
was a
I,
kind.
yeah, can I ask something about this? So there's something like there's a clear pattern here. Your higher up said no, so you went to that higher up. You then got applied for this screening process. That higher up said you can't go for it, and then you went to another higher up. So how did you keep navigating these no's without like getting on
That was quite.
anyone's bad
You
side?
can't imagine that the kind of the mental tension I have to suffer.
Yeah.
You know the
And
work
what made you
environment,
think that this was worth it?
because I wanted to bake it. I wanted to try that.
Mm,
I still remember my mother's question. She said that you already have one degree. You have
yeah.
master's degree. So why you are striving so hard for a certification or a diploma program?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, she asked me that why you are running here and there, why
Hmm.
you are wasting your so much energy to get in a program that's a certification or a kind of a diploma. I
That
said,
people keep denying.
yeah, I said, Ammi, I want to try. Please let me try. Just let me try once more. And it worked. I got in.
Hmm.
And those 2 years were marvelous. Our faculty was marvelous. That was the time, I will say, I always say, the what I studied in my master's in public health, I had the real application of that over that time because it was all practical. We used to go for
Hmm.
outbreak investigation. We used to have surveillance studies, and that was awesome. Then I learned how to write the manuscripts. I learned the scientific writing, and I developed more interest. And with every passing day, my skills of scientific writing, they got polished because of the interest. So those 2 years, I will say that were the golden time for my public
Yeah.
health care. Yeah. Then
And
I
I can
never
see
stopped.
two themes. I can see two themes here. One's persistence and second is curiosity.
Yeah, yeah. So I continued with that, and we used to have 9 milestones. They call it milestone, the kind of the projects you have to do in that 2 years. So
Hmm.
one of the milestone was abstract writing and the conference presentation. So that was the first time in my life I proceeded for an abroad trip, and it was an
Oh
academic
wow.
trip. Yeah, yeah. We were taken to Jordan for a conference. I applied I did the measles outbreak in in ICT in the start of pre-monsoon. Like now
Hmm.
it's the weather. We have so many cases of measles in the outskirts of Islamabad, the
Hmm.
peri-urban area. So all of the students, the fellows, we went for the outbreak, and everybody wrote their report. So I submitted it in the form of abstract. Now there was the study that I was doing, the surveillance evaluation study. I was studying the influenza surveillance system of Pakistan. So both these studies I submitted as the abstract, and they got accepted, and I went to Jordan. So
Okay.
yeah.
This did your senior or someone tell you to apply or did you just like find the opportunity and decide to go for it?
No, no, we were asked to apply. We were asked to
Okay.
apply. As immediately when I started, I've just finished with my first contact session. There was another opportunity that was taking place in Thailand.
Oh
So,
wow.
but I couldn't finalize my paper or abstract for that. So I remember that I couldn't apply for that. This is the second opportunity that came during that period, and we were asked to apply. So many of the fellows who were my class fellows, we went. I think we were total 18 students
Hmm.
that went with the faculty to Jordan Amman to present. That was the first time, and then I never stopped. I kept on writing, and I
Yeah.
kept on applying, and I built my profile through this. And Alhamdulillah, I think
Mhm.
uh, I have 100 plus conference papers
Wow.
presented at many international forums, and
Hmm.
I have authored the manuscript, the scientific articles.
Hmm.
It's almost 38 articles I have published as the primary
Hmm.
and first author, corresponding author. And I'm also working as a peer reviewer for 33
Yeah.
journals. Yeah.
Wow. So you figured out how to do it, you realized you liked it, and you kept on doing it
Yeah.
in your own time.
Yeah. Yeah. Day by day, my skills got polished. And I always say that there is no single day when you don't learn anything. And I would
Mhm.
say I'm still in the learning phase. I'm always learning a new thing every day.
Yeah. And you're always in the learning phase. I think that the
Yeah.
problem sometimes that our society faces is that we put a limit of age or time in your life where you stop learning. And after that, learning is sometimes frowned upon to some extent. Like if you're passionately pursuing something and passionately trying to learn, people
Yeah.
sometimes look at you funny. At
Yeah.
this point, double doctors. But
Yeah.
also you're like really studying hard and also publishing papers and reviewing journals. But are you also like working in the field at the same time?
So now I'm not working as such in the
Mhm.
field. It's more than a field now. Now I'm working as at the policy level. Since
Yeah.
2023, that at time when I met Sadika, I was working in operations.
Hmm.
In 2023 October, I something happened that was a blessing in disguise. for
Mm-hmm.
me, and I moved to Ministry of National Health Regulations. I'm working there as the Director of Pandemic Fund and Emergency Response. So I'm working more, you can say, at the oversight
Mm-hmm.
and the policy level.
And can
So
I
I'm
ask
responsible.
the difference between both of these jobs for like someone who's curious about what a day in your life in that job versus the other job looks like?
Yeah. My job is more of an oversight kind.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to work in field till 2022. I have worked myself on the airport during the COVID screening, the testing. I have conducted the testing of the COVID testing myself. I used to collect samples, sample transportation, and everything. Now I'm working. You can say it's a kind of an office job that I'm looking after that how the things are managed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
responsible for how the data is collected, how the data is analyzed, what we get out of it. So it's a policy level and it's oversight. I'm responsible that I'm also, as you introduced me, that I'm working for the IHR. I'm also the national focal point for the pandemic preparedness and response and the
Mm-hmm.
national focal point for the MPOX response.
Wow.
Pakistan, fortunately, have only the imported cases till the recent outbreak that took place in Sindh. We are only
Mm-hmm.
reporting the imported cases. So I'm responsible for the response, whatever is done, coordination, response, the difference. I'm responsible for coordinating with the people who are working in the field and
Mm-hmm.
the one who are responsible for providing them technology, for providing them logistics. So I'm kind of a pillar between them
Mm-hmm.
and also responsible for kind of the decisions that are taken place, that how they are communicated.
And does it help that you were also in the field before, so now you know how that works much more better than
Yeah,
the average
it's
person?
both ways. It's not like
Yeah.
that I can't go into field. Yeah, recently
Yeah.
when yeah, there was mpox outbreak in Sindh, we were asked to go, but
Mm-hmm.
actually as the NIH team was going and they offered me that to accompany, but I cannot leave my office for 3 days. So that's why I
Yeah.
said that we're going to keep coordinating through the
Mm-hmm.
Zoom meetings and keep us apprised. So I couldn't go to the field because many more important things were taking place in
Yeah.
Islamabad at the moment. So we keep on coordinating. It's not like as I told, I'm the focal point. I have to keep liaison
Yeah.
with the with the one who are working in the operations. So everything has a different taste. When I was working in operations, I was working actually in the
Mm-hmm.
field. That was a different thing. Now, where I'm working, I'm enjoying this work. I have to write policy papers. I have to write concept notes. I have
Mm-hmm.
to write and brief my Minister of Health. I have to brief my
Mm-hmm.
DGs that what is the actual situation on ground and what you can say I'm a kind of a technical lead who give them the technical opinions that what should be done in this
Mm-hmm.
position as an epidemiologist and a public health specialist.
Okay. So a lot of the people who are dealing with these diseases firsthand, and you who's overseeing these decisions that are being made, you guys must be exposed to like a lot of risk on a daily basis, like your department, and it must be really hands-on because anything can happen at any time.
Yeah,
So,
totally right. Because we have to make not only the policy brief, we have to
yeah.
make the media statements, we have to make
Mhm.
the briefs that go to the highest level, to the Prime Minister, to the
Wow.
President, to Senate, to the one who are the policy makers, our
Hmm.
upper houses. So we have to be very careful because it's a very sensitive matter. So we have to
Yeah.
take care that what is written, the facts are explained in a very strict manner. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's a very sensitive job, but
Hmm.
this is how the things work. You have to be on toes all the
Yeah.
time. So I will say it's more than working in the field
Hmm.
because we have it's not a no working time. So
Yeah.
it's 8 to 5 job, but I will say it's 24-hour jobs. Whenever
Mm.
we get some orders that they're like, for example, if the Prime Minister House asks that there is something and we need a report, so you can't say
Yeah.
that it's an off time or it's a Sunday or
Oh my
it's a
gosh.
weekend. So
Yeah.
it's a 24/7 job.
Yeah. And I read your article where you talked about, it being a heavily male-dominated field and everything. So how have you navigated, throughout your career trajectory, those points?
This is, I think that in Pakistan, the things are changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the article you are talking about, yeah, I wrote because from where I started, and I still it's a male-dominated field. But I would say that at the present, I'm working in ministry, and the technical wing we have the majority of the females.
Mm-hmm.
So things are better, and I think I have learned to cope with it,
Yeah.
and I keep my line and length very clear. I have
Mm-hmm.
different parameters, and I will say that I think. Uh, After working for so many years, people now know that what is my value, what is my worth.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point in time, I won't say that I have to prove myself on every
Yeah.
there and now. But again, work being working in a country over there which has perceptions, but in my mind, I think it's the environment is really changing.
Mm.
So yeah, currently I won't say that I feel so much challenges in this. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And also like I need to address this because I know a lot of kids pursue medical and then eventually after they graduate they're like, oh, there's not a lot of jobs and everything, but you seem to clearly have continued to keep on doing something and continually led your whole life with curiosity. So like what sort of advice would you give those kids?
Yeah, I will give the advice that always be positive and
Mm-hmm.
always keep moving. And I have one of the example, one of my junior. I would say that I can say she is my shadow, and she followed my footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
She used to do duty on Islamabad International Airport during the COVID times. So during 2022, when the Hajj was resumed for the first time, and it was one of the very major mass gathering that was taking
Wow.
place after the COVID pandemic. I won't
Mm-hmm.
say after the COVID pandemic, during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
So I I told her that everyone goes for duty. They go for the duty on the airport. Some just sleep over there. Some just
Mm-hmm.
chat over there and they come back. I think you are the one who can make a difference. So I asked her that you should conduct a study that what are the perception of people and what are the real dynamics of the Hajj that is taking place at such a mass gathering. If we talk of the public health, mass
Mm-hmm.
gathering is one of a risk for the public health, and especially a place where the disease can take place because of close contact. So I
Yeah.
asked her to design a questionnaire and do a study. So she did that.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, she did that, and then she also never stopped. She kept on doing something, and recently she is pursuing her master's from one of a foreign, some university from UK,
Mm-hmm.
and she also got selected as assistant chief in Ministry of Planning. So it's one of the
Wow.
chief. So because she kept on doing so, just from starting her career in 2021, she got selected from the Federal Public Service Commission, and in 2022 she did study. This study we submitted it in ICID of 2020, and that study won the Bill Gates Melinda Award.
Wow. Okay.
This is my advice. I always, if somebody asks me, I always say
Mm-hmm.
that please try to make some difference.
Yeah.
You can go to your workplace, just kill your time, finish your time and work and come back. But
Mm-hmm.
I always say that try to find something that can make you different. So
Mm-hmm.
this is my advice to every graduate, to every
Yeah.
student, that always feel positive. I have been through so many negative uh, things. I have been through so much challenging times, but I always try to stay positive.
Mm-hmm.
I used
And
to cry at
yeah.
many times. I still remember. I still sometimes feel so many challenges that I cry. But
Mm-hmm.
after every cry and after every challenge, I come out more strong.
Mm. Yeah. And I'd also like to highlight something, the friend that you mentioned and even your personal efforts. Like I looked through your LinkedIn and you are doing like participating in online webinars and workshops and
Yeah.
like you're doing a lot of things. So I think what I found from this was that apart from your job's role, you're seeing other ways that you're making impact too. So if sometimes your job isn't offering that sort of need to make an impact, you can also look at other sources.
Yeah, you're very right. The webinars I attend, all these things, that are all my personal effort. That not
Yeah.
most of the things are not part of my job, but
Hmm.
still, I even today I just looked
Yeah.
at World Health Assembly is taking place in mid of May from 18th to 23rd, and there are many side events that are open for registration for online attendance. So
Mm-hmm.
I've opened the link for every of the session, and
Wow.
I tried to register. So
Yeah.
because it's such an happening event where the resolutions are passed, so I want to learn that what new is being done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that. I love that for you, that you're just like personally always curious, always trying new things,
It
always pushing
always pay
yourself
you
to
off
learn
during
more.
COVID time. I still remember during
Yeah.
COVID times, I used to search the literature, whatever latest was published on the COVID. I used to study. I used to download those documents and I used to share, and
Mm-hmm.
that helped me to conduct the trainings that I conducted during the COVID times.
Yeah.
As I'm also working as a training coordinator for my department, I write the modules on with of myself, and I conduct the training. So this is how
Wow.
it started. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
how it started. Last
Mm-hmm.
year, I still remember that I'm not a climate specialist, but climate is my passion. So somehow going through because the global action plan for the climate was approved by the World Health Assembly. So I downloaded it and I used it for making a presentation that I have to present at Pedia University last year. So a
Mm-hmm.
person who came specially from the climate section,
Yeah.
uh, after the presentation, he was quite impressed that, Madam, you have done a very keen study of what is going on at present regarding the climate, and you have a very strong background and you have done a very strong homework on that. I said
Yeah.
because yeah, yes, I like working on these things, and so I want that wherever I go, if
Mm-hmm.
I can't give my 10 or 10, at least I should be giving 8 out of 10.
Yeah. That's really awesome, Dr. Nadia. I really had a fun time talking to you and learning about how passionate you are in making the most of each and every day. So thank you so much for coming.